Boort, he's actually fixing himself up. Sorry, I went a little bit quick on you, mate. Great to see you made the long trip. Great night of racing last night at Melton, and one thing I'm very encouraged by is the amount of people that were at Melton last night and they're here today at Boort. It's terrific to see.
Yeah, it is terrific to see, and last night was a great night. Team Teal was a wonderful event, and a lot of money raised for ovarian cancer, and heard a lot of interesting stories and a lot of touching stories about people that have been through that disease, and hopefully we can find an early detection treatment for it. And it's a wonderful cause that is led by a very, very dedicated team, and Duncan McPherson really holds that candle, and a wonderful effort by Duncan in getting that up and running, and the last 8 years have been very, very successful for that Team Teal.
He does an amazing job because it's such an emotional thing to be doing. Their race is named in honour of his wife. He has his kids there. He does such a great job to be so positive about the trotters and the way the trotters are going. He's an inspiration, I think. I just love the vibe you get off him, and I think people feed off that vibe.
I agree, Paul. He's got great energy around the trotting ranks, and very supportive of that part of our industry. And it's a real part of industry that really underpins what we do here in Victoria. It's a really unique part of what we have, and we really have to keep driving that. And as I said last night, our international connection really needs to be driven again between Europe and Australia, and especially Victoria, to get that cross-fertilisation between people who love the trotting in Europe back into Victoria and back into Europe, to get those people to come back and forward to participate in our product.
That's one of the ones, one of my questions I did want to talk to you about. There's probably a heap of them. You and me are going to try and catch up regularly within no set days or anything along the lines, but maybe monthly, 6 weekly, something like that. We'll catch up. But internationalisation, getting trotters to go backwards and forwards. There was a Swedish contingent there last night as well. Seeing people, you see a horse like Dance Craze, but not just Dance Craze. Tornado Valley would have travelled, that's for sure. We've got these horses. That's one of your aims, is to try and get us travelling backwards and forwards, especially with the trotter?
Yeah, absolutely it is. One of my aims is, because our trotting ranks are growing and are quite successful, my aim is to get another standalone day at the end of the Summer of Glory of Carnival that sort of works with international contingent. So they want to come to our best races and we want to go back to their best races. So we need to sort of sort that out, and I'm happy to, I'm very, very keen to work with Duncan and Andrew Kelly from Harness Racing Australia to get that synergy between the countries so we can have those events.
Yeah, that's exactly right. There's a lot of people pushing for it in the right direction, and as long as it keeps rolling along, I think it's great. They must have been wrapped last night, I think, and I would imagine Boort and everyone, from the way the trotters presented, the way the participants presented, I think everyone must have been extremely happy.
Oh, everyone was really happy. It was a great night of racing. The racing was top class, and it's something we can build on and create another dimension. As I said, I'd love to do a standalone night for the Summer of Glory for a trotting night.
Very good. The roadshow wrapping up. We've got Ballarat, which unfortunately got changed because of the Melton meeting that we lost, and Ararat. I think you got 2 to go. How have they been going, and enjoying them? And I suppose they're probably a little bit tiring as well.
We've done 21 stops in about 6 to 8 weeks, and we're just coming down to Ballarat and Ararat. We've just got to work out whether we can get to both of them separately or we'll do them together. We had to cancel Ballarat because of the Melton meeting being rescheduled for the Monday night. The feedback has been quite positive. A lot of people have been coming to the meetings around the state. We've been averaging, around the 30 mark. Some people have sometimes had 40, some in the 20s, but overall averaging about 30. A lot of feedback, a lot of positivity. There's people that would like to see things done differently going forward. There's people that have got ideas. A lot of things have come out of it, and I'll give you an example of some of the things. Looking at not racing so late at night, the participants not wanting to be there 11 o'clock at night, and from a wagering perspective, it probably doesn't stack up. So we have to think about when we race that time slot. So probably finishing around 10 would be the latest we race on those nights. So get the people home, so not travelling home late at night, and so look after our participants a little bit more. And also around our scheduling. So the Saturday mornings is really pushing forward with Tabcorp. We're looking to race Saturday mornings from about 10:30, 10:45 into the back end of the thoroughbred. So we want that space where there's not a lot of content on that mornings. You've got a little bit of New Zealand, a little bit of international. We can put our harness racing product right in there, and it fits with our other international strategy into America, because that gets us into the north parts of America on a Friday evening when the pubs and clubs are open in America. And we know that the wagering landscape's opening up in America. Great time for us to get our product into that country. We've also had feedback around our standing starts, for instance. A lot of people have said, look, can we look at standing starts for our country cups and our top end? And I've been looking at the previous reports from that when we stopped standing starts for pacing. And I think there's a real possibility for us to review and look at having a standing start circuit for the top end. And we're reviewing that at the moment, and I'm pretty keen to pursue that and take on board what the participants have said and look at it and see whether it's viable.
that won't just be a matter of just saying, right, we're going to have stands. There would have to be a lot of education. There'll be a lot of education of horses, a lot of education of drivers, and probably a lot of education of punters, either through trials and continual trials to make sure that we can get the whole thing right, especially tapes releasing and along the line. So there's been a lot of rumours. People have suggested it. You've brought it up with me today, so I'm glad that you have. But it's not a foregone conclusion, and it's not just going to come back in that old role, I would imagine.
No, it's not. So we'll have to, if we're going to go down that track, we'll have to look at doing a trial period, and we'll have to look at horses getting ready to do the trial period. So we've got a re-education piece now for our pacing ranks, and we've got to look at how we work with our starters, we work with the people that work the standing start, because it is quite a mechanism to work. And at the moment with the trotting ones, we're holding the strands. We've just got to work around the tracks to see what's the best tracks to trial it at, to work from. But we'll look at that from a viability point of view, the wagering. We'll look at all the parts that work around stands, and we'll come up with a view. And if we think it's worthwhile, we'll certainly trial it again.
I love it. Guy Valley Finn today, he's been re-handicapped 10 metres. He was in a similar field at the Ararat Cup. The 10 metres makes it hard. He's gone from being he'd probably be a $2 favourite off 20. He's $8 at the minute on the tote. So I think it's a no-brainer. It's one of those things that the powers that be at the time, everyone tries to do the right thing by the industry, and I think that's one of the things people think. They get in the job and they just say, they want to get rid of stands. It wasn't that at all. They were taking the feedback and they were looking at their figures and the likes, but times change, and I think that's one thing I know a lot of people are very happy about with what you are doing and the likes, and I think they're very encouraged by it. We've got plenty to talk about. I know they're on the track for the next race at Boort, and there is plenty to talk about. We'll go about it. Our last conversation, we had a few people talk about the breeders and what's going on with the breeders. I know there's plenty going on with the breeders behind, so it's sort of a watch this space for the breeders, I would imagine.
Yeah, it is. We've got lots of feedback on how do we stimulate breeding. We're going to look at our Vic Bred series. A lot of feedback is why don't we front end our first Vic Bred payment and make it a bigger payment. So we're looking at the way we structure our Vic Bred payments to make it more incentive and more interesting and we'll make people want to breed again. So we front up our payments, make it a larger payment for our Vic Bred, and we're looking at how we can redistribute that Vic Bred payment now. And also, when you do that, you're looking at how you can keep your money into Victoria. So looking at ring fencing our events. So we look at standing mares and standing stallions in Victoria and look at how that would run.
That's awesome, and we'll get, as I said, we'll touch on it. We'll touch on it a few times. We might get other people in a panel going forward and the likes. Dayle, thank you very much. As I said, they're on the track for the next at Boort, so I'll be in trouble by John Campbell if I don't do it. But thank you for your time. Great that you get out and about, and as I said, I don't work for HRV. Anyone wanting to know there, I work for myself. The fact that you're giving me the time, I think is great, and it gives a lot of the people out there to hear your voice and then see that they're listening is, I think a lot of people are buoyant about it. I do love the closing a little bit early. It's one of my worries. I know myself, leaving tracks at 11 o'clock at night, I'm tired. I worry about some of these participants and they've got to get up the next morning and go again. So I think that's a great initiative to look at those times. I can't imagine sitting up at 11 o'clock wanting to bet anyway, so it seems a no-brainer to me, but anyway.
Yeah, it makes sense, and thanks very much, Paul, for the opportunity, because we have gone on this road to listen. It's about listening, not talking to people, telling them things they don't want to hear. It's about getting the feedback, and it's about getting the right balance for the industry as a whole so we can take the industry forward and improve our lot.
Very good. Dayle Brown, thank you very much for your time, mate. Enjoy the rest of the day at Boort.
Thanks, Paul.
Back here at Boort Harness Racing Track, just trying to make sure my volume's working, but yep, we're all good to go. Marvels of the way this works. It's sort of my signature tune. Carl Coady joins me, sort of semi-local, I suppose. You're from not far up the road anyway, and are you a Swan Hill boy as such, or are you out in the country roads?
Nah, Swan Hill boy, which is an hour from here. So I grew up in Swan Hill till I was 18. Obviously mixed up with both codes, harness racing and gallops. Just lived across the road from the gallops track, and Dad was the starter and a vice president, and Mum and Dad are both licensed members at both clubs, I think. So I've had a fair bit of racing in my background.
A fair bit of racing in your background. You used to be a steward as well. Taking up a new role, Trots Club Victoria. You're the main man, really. I suppose you've got to liaise. It's a fun job anyway. I don't know your official title. You're going to tell me in a second, but it's a fun job, and it must be a very hard job, I would imagine, from the outside looking in.
Yeah, true. So I'm the CEO of Trots Clubs Victoria. So basically the country clubs have got a board, and that board I work for. And I'm a conduit to Harness Racing Victoria to try and make a better deal, I guess, for all the clubs, work for the clubs, try and better the industry as a whole. So I've been in the role for just over a month now, 5 weeks. As you said, I've been a steward for the majority of my life. I've been Victoria for 8 years, over in WA for 12 or 13, and in between that I was in Queensland for 1 year as well. So stewarding is my background. So this is a bit of a different role, but enjoying it, and it's good to learn new things and do something different. It's really exciting times.
I work a lot with Toby McKinnon, the previous person that held your position. From a point of view of you, it's probably not a bad time to come in because Dayle Brown's came in. I've interviewed Dayle. There's going to be some changes happening. There's probably word there's going to be a lot more changes going further forward. So a new person coming in as well, maybe working in together with these new ideas. Be exciting times, I'd imagine.
It will be, and also Tim Scala's fairly new into the role of the president of Trots Clubs Victoria, so there's probably three people who can make a difference in the industry and all have the best thoughts of the industry at heart. So hopefully we can get some movement and get the industry going in the right direction and a positive sort of direction. So yeah, looking forward to it, Paul.
Last night I was at Melton and again here today. There is a very good positive vibe up and about harness racing at the minute. It's actually, for mine anyway, doing what I do, getting around to a lot of the clubs, it's very positive. I hope you're finding that, and I hope the clubs are sort of feeling that same sort of vibe.
Oh, definitely, and me lucky enough to be interstate at different times. Victoria's got it really good in a lot of areas, financially, and the support they've got from the board. I know everyone's got their knocks on different things, but I can tell you now, I'm working at the office at Harness Racing Victoria, and everyone in there works very hard and has got the best thoughts of the industry. Everyone's doing their best to make things go forward. So positive times ahead, Paul, for sure.
Some things don't work, some do, but if you don't die trying, you're crazy. You just sit back on your hands. You've got to have a crack. Boort here today, great crowd, great turn up of people. A lot of people having fun. Fashions on the field. There's a mechanical surfboard and the likes. We need these sort of days as much as we need last night, don't we? We need the good day, the big days, and all the rest. But I think one of the challenges is we probably try to make too many big days. That's from my point of view. I'm not sure how you feel about it, but we definitely need days like today here for the local community.
Oh, I agree. When it's cup days, the club have got to do their best to get new people to the track that haven't been before. I know it's all about turnover, but for their main race days like this, you can get footy clubs here, you can get cricket clubs here. You're getting people that aren't usually seeing our sport to see it, see how good it is, see how close you are to the action. It brings a whole new, different type of person, and that's what we need. Can bring new owners, new people punting on the sport, and all the positive spin.
Little track like this, they sometimes get a bad rap. Tight little tracks and the likes, oh, why do we have them and all the rest. Different racing brings different winners, doesn't it? I mean, the winner just then, glorious finale of Jackie Barker's just winning the Trotters Cup just then. Run them off their legs. If you try to do that on a big track, there'll be something to be able to sweep you, but they can't do that on these little tracks.
No, that's right. She drove a very smart race. I was watching the horses out the back off the big marks, which were trying to get into the race, and she just set a speed they couldn't get into the race. So it didn't matter how good they were, they couldn't make up the ground. But as you say, it's a boutique track. It's not for everyone, as far as some horses wouldn't want to come here, but it's definitely got its place, and there's horses for courses, and as I said, you're so close to the action. For anyone who's never been to the trots before, you come to a place like this and think, how good is it? You can virtually touch them as they go past, so it's got its attraction for sure.
Birchip next week. We off to Birchip?
I don't think I'll be able to go to Birchip next week, unfortunately, but I'll be definitely at Charlton the week before. I'm trying to get to Birchip, but obviously there's a lot of administration in this role as well, so I've got to try and spread myself around, to use the term, and I'll do my best to get there, but definitely Charlton the week after if I don't get to Birchip.
It's an easy job, mate. You don't have much to do. That's what everyone thinks, isn't it? There's nothing to do much at all.
I'd love them to come and sit with me for a few days. There's a fair bit going on, the phones and the emails, of course. It doesn't stop. But that's the job, and I've got to try and help as many people as I can to get good results for the industry. So that's my plan, and hopefully I'm doing a good job.
From the club's point of view, is there some new initiatives probably in the pipeworks, things coming along?
Oh, I just think the evolution of big days like this, Paul, is the main thing. Everyone's putting their time and effort into big cup days. As I said, it's getting new people to the track that wouldn't normally be there, and that's the idea. New owners, more people punting, different crowd at the track, and younger people, of course. That's what we need, because we have got an older demographic as a rule, so it's good to see the young people. As you said, there's people here with jumping castles and things like that. Getting a younger crowd, there's pony trots, there's just things to get people coming from the other end and coming through the industry, so it's all positive.
Very good. Lucky I didn't trip that lady up. The surfboard, mate, you're dressed a bit like a surfer. You're not going to get on the mechanical surfboard at all?
I could get on it, but I wouldn't be on there for long. That'd be the problem. I'd end up certainly on the ground. Not my go.
Very good. I will quickly just say well done to HRV as well, because I think a lot of people think you guys don't get out and about. You come with Tori Goldstein. Is that right, how I say it? With the same baby as me?
Yes, yeah.
But Dayle Brown, Dale Monteith, there's heaps of people here. I think I've forgotten a couple of them already. But
there's board members, there's other staff, yeah. As I said, the people in there work really hard, and although I don't work for Harness Racing Victoria, my office is in there, and I see what goes on, and they put their heart and soul into their jobs, and they do a great job too. It's fantastic.
Well done, mate. Thank you very much. Might spend some more time with you down the track in a month or two and see how everything's tracking.
Always a pleasure. Thanks, Paul.
Thanks, Carl. Rightio, we are back here at Boort Harness Racing Club today. good day of racing, Trav. It's been a lot of fun. You were one of the early ones yourself, and Max were here. Catching up with Travis Knights, president of the Birchip Harness Racing Club, which actually raced next weekend. So it's a nice little fill-in and way of promoting long weekend, Trav. Firstly, Boort here today. It's been a great day of racing, mate.
It certainly has. It's my first time coming to Boort to have a look at the races here. I've been thoroughly impressed by how the racing's gone, and certainly by how the club have put on their day. So it's really good. The little community's getting their country meetings back, and I think everyone who's been here today's really enjoyed what we've seen.
Birchip next weekend, it's big. If I listen to me co-man from time to time, B. Baker, he tells us it's the biggest in the world. It is big though, and it's a big thing for the community. A lot of people get behind it. A lot of people come back to Birchip just to actually be a part of this actual day.
Yeah, they do. We average about 1,200 people for the past 3 years that we've been back. It is turning into very much a returning sort of thing. A lot of people don't get back at Christmas, so they come back to Birchip. It's really, really good in the fact that, people do turn up. We've got great community support, plenty of sponsors. They tip in a lot of money, and we're very thankful for them. So we're always trying to help them out, and it's kind of like in the small community that everyone works together, and we've been very fortunate with a lot of support from a lot of people around the town.
The more people that come, the more people that go to the bakery on the way through and buy something. That's a flow-on effect for the community, isn't it? And even stay the night, get on the squirt, stay the night, wake up the next morning, go down, get bacon and eggs or whatever, put money back through the community. It means so much more than just the dollar that goes across that bar. It just means a lot to the community, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. If you can talk about any number of businesses up the street that get something out of it, and it's really good. We buy a lot of our drinks through the two pubs and the supermarket, the butchers, the baker. Their vanilla slices go like hotcakes on the day, but we do. It does mean a lot. The lake is often full, people camping. The pubs and the motel are often full with campers, and you just see people now that you only see once a year, and they come back to Birchip for the Cup, and it's a really good catch up. Plus, we've got plenty of other things that we do throughout the day to make their trip back home a lot more special for them.
The Sharps, they rate their vanilla slices a little bit too, don't they? And rightfully so, I think.
Yeah, they do. It's been very good. They've won quite a few vanilla slice competitions, which has been good. And they're always constantly trying to modify them to make them better. But yeah, they do go okay. You
got to take one step to me, otherwise we're going to end up out of the picture. I will not put the microphone down your throat. I promise I won't. On the day, mate, racing-wise, you've got lots planned for the day. What attractions have you got happening?
So in terms of the races, we've introduced a Mallee Trotting Cup. So that's our first.
Awesome.
Kindly sponsored by TMC Enviro, a local business. So that's been really, really well received. I think we'll probably end up with about seven to nine races, depending on the nominations next week. The trophies, of course, are the Bull Trophy. So the two cups on the day, the winners will get that. We've also got another local businessman, John Wilson from Portable Buildings. He's tipped in $1,000 for the Drivers' Challenge. Last year won by James Herbertson. So that's on again. Fred Cruz, he's been really good to the club. He's put up $900 for the first horse to break the 2-minute mile rate. Plus, we've got plenty of other things. Murph's doing the band, the old Melbourne Road band. They're coming along to play through the day. The Sharpie and the Darts are going to play at night. So we'll kick on for a little bit. But we've got other things like plenty of food and drink to be had. We've got plenty of things for the kids to do, petting zoos, face painting, even jumping castles for them. So there's plenty of things for people to come along and do. So we try to cater for everyone throughout the day as we go.
And at the end of the night, Freddie Cruz, the thing with Fred, I reckon, is sensational because it's $300 to the owner, $300 to the trainer, and $300 to the driver, which is just great to recognise all three parties of that group.
Yeah, for sure. Fred's been just an amazing supporter of us. He's only had to pay out once in the 3 years, but we weren't expecting that, and we're very thankful and grateful that a man like Fred, who hasn't been to Birchip, he's coming this year, we're told, that he's wanted to tip in some money out of his own pocket to help a grassroots club like ourselves.
Having a few people photo bomb us walking through our footage, but it'll be okay. Your bar, I've seen it's a massive shed, so afterwards, doesn't matter rain, hail or shine, it's just going to be a good night, isn't it?
It will be, yeah. So we'll kick on till late. There'll be bands playing. The bar will be there in full effect. So that big shed that's up there, up in town, it came about 2 or 3 years ago now. It's a really good facility. There's often some weddings. The B&S in town is on there as well. So it's a great facility. Rain, hail or shine, as you said. So it's worthwhile.
Brendan Baker will be on track, so there'll be words of wisdom or rubbish, whichever way you want to take it. Generally, it's rubbish that comes out of his mouth. We'll see if he watches it to the end. There's no hassles there. Shannon Nixon coming back again. There's quite a few people that really pump it up on social media, which is really, really good as well.
Yeah, it is. So we've made social media a big focus of what we wanted to do, just to get our name out there, and I think we're starting to reap the benefits. I was talking to some of the people here today, and I really do think it's off the back of Menengate that we've been able to get back into this position. So we're very thankful that horse came along. But there's been a lot of hard work from a lot of unsung heroes in our committee. We're very lucky with our committee being so young that we get a lot of people that are happy to donate time, money, expertise in different areas to be able to get us to where we are today.
Well done to you. I reckon you're doing a great job, Travis Knight. I think what you're doing is terrific. Have a great day, mate. Hopefully it gets really big, and hopefully your MC behaves himself during the day and misbehaves of the night time, because then I'm sure the bar sales will be well and truly up, mate.
I'm sure he knows what he's doing, but he's definitely said once the day's over he'll be back on the quiet cans, but we know that's probably not the case. But I'm sure we're going to have a great day.
Quite convivial one, I think, is what he actually says. But anyway, you'll be right. Good luck to you, Trav. Well done to Birchip. Good luck next weekend, mate, and good luck to the whole community up there.
Cheers. Thanks very much.